In today's video, we're going to be creating this contact form UI design in Figma. All right, let's get started. First things first, we need a frame. So I'm just going to click on F and I'm just going to randomly draw a frame here. Let's change the dimension. So the width of this frame is going to be 605. Let me get closer. And the height is going to be 680. Okay, let's now change the fill of this frame to, I'm going to make it 131454. Click on OK, and we have this. Next up is a circle. So I'm just going to click on O so that I can insert an ellipse, and I'm going to insert a circle into that frame. And I'm going to zoom in. Let me change the dimensions to 470 by 470. And let me just move it here. And the position for this ellipse is going to be 260 from the left. So it's going to be 260 from the left of our rectangle. I'm looking at the left, not the right. So this area, and then it's going to be 360 from the bottom. So it's currently 359, which is just 380, sorry, not 360. So I'm going to raise it up. It should be 380. So it's going to be 260 from the left and 380 from the bottom. Let's go over to the fill. So let's change the fill of this to D693 FD, and we're going to have this pink color. Let's reduce the opacity of this to 40%, and then we are going to add an effect to this. So the effect we want to use is layer blur, and now let's increase the blur to 200, and we are going to have this soft sort of glue at the top of the top right corner of our frame. Let me zoom out, select the entire frame, and I'm going to add an effect to the frame. So add an effect, and the effect we want is noise. So we're going to add some noise to our frame, and let's change some settings. So this is what our noise looks like. There's no need to change much. The only thing we're going to change is the density and opacity. So density is going to be 20%, and the opacity is going to be 20. Leave the color as it is, and I'm just going to close this. Let's start with a text. So I'm just going to go to my notes. All of this text is going to be in the description box below. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to click on T, and I'm just going to insert a text into our frame, and we're going to have our text. Let's now change the font. The font is going to be Baskerville. So change the font to Baskerville. The weight is going to stay the same. We're going to make the size 45, and the line height is going to be 52. And I'm just going to bring it, let's say, somewhere around here. When we're done, we're going to align everything properly. I'm going to just now change the color of this text. Let's make the color E9EDEC. So that's the color E9EDEC. That's the color. I'm going to create a copy of this text so I can just, this text box, so I can reuse it. We're going to change this one to the font to Garamond, and size is going to be 18, and the letter spacing, the line height is going to be 24. So for this, I'm using 0.5%, or you could use 0. It's fine. Any way will work. So it's 0.5%. This one, we're also going to leave the letter spacing at 0.5% or 0.5px, which one you are currently using. Let's grab our text. I'm going to copy this text and then paste. I'm going to change the width of this text. So it's currently at auto width. So I'm going to make it auto height so I can change the width. The width of this text is going to be 410. We can also create a copy of this, and I'm just going to create another copy of this, and this one is going to be just full name. Let's start with full name, and I'm just going to add this. Let's make the resizing of the text box auto width. Now we can insert a line next. So I'm going to click on L on my keyboard, and I'm going to hold shift down and then draw a line. The length of this line is 345, and we're going to change the color of this line so it to be the same color with our text. The text is E9 ED EC, and I'm going to change it to that. Let's select these two items and make it an auto layout. The alignment is currently set to bottom. That's fine. So I'm going to now change the gap to 3. So alignment should be bottom and gap should be 3. We're going to create 3 more copies, so we have a total of 4. So I'm just going to create 1, 2, 3. Now I can modify this. This is going to be email. This is going to be phone number. I didn't put my colon, and then I'm going to change this to subject. We're going to need a final text box for our message, but want to use a rectangle. So I'm just going to create this on group using Control and Backspace, and I can just delete this line. So Control and Backspace, you can undo a frame, remove a group. I'm going to change this text to message, and we are going to insert a rectangle. So I'm just going to click on R, and I'm going to insert a rectangle. The width of this rectangle is going to be the same with the line, so which is going to be 345, and the height is going to be 100. Now let's add a stroke to our rectangle. Add a stroke. We're going to change the stroke to the same text color, which is E9 EDEC, and I'm going to remove the fill. We're just going to leave this. So what I want to do first, I want to have the same spacing between two of them. So I'm just going to bring this closer first so I can see the spacing. So it's currently set to 0. I'll make it 3. And now we're going to move this rectangle so that it's going to align to the bottom of our message text, just like this. And we can select this too and just group it. Finally, we're going to add a button. So I'm going to click on text, and I'm just going to type this out, which is send message. And I'm going to change the color of our text first and foremost, so I don't forget. I'm going to change it to the same color, E9EDEC. Okay. Now let's change the font. It's currently set to Garamond. That's fine. The size is going to be 16, and the letter spacing, the line height is going to, let's leave it at 24. That's okay. So I'm going to make this a frame using Shift and A, and by default, the padding on the left and right is going to be 10. Padding on the top and bottom is going to be 10. That's okay. Leave it like that. We're going to add a fill, and we are going to change the fill of this to the same pink color we use for that gradient, which is D693FD. And we have our send message button. Now let's move things around so we can have proper alignment. I'm going to start with all of these items. Let me start with all of this. I'm going to select all of them. Let's go to alignment, and we're going to align right. Then we're going to go to spacing. Spacing between all of these items is going to be 10. And to make it easier to handle, let's group all of them. Next, I'm going to select all of these. We're going to fix this in a moment. Let's make the spacing between all of these groups 20. And now I'm just going to come closer so I can do this manually. I'm holding shift so that I can maintain the same alignment as it has so we don't mess up the spacing, and I'm just going to align it to the edge of this rectangle here. Finally, we can select all the elements, well, with the exception of that circle within our form. And now let's move it to, we align it to the center and as well as the middle of our frame. And with that, we are essentially done with our form. Let's see what it looks like in the prototype view. We can just go ahead. Let me select one of our default frames. I'm just going to click on F and I'm going to use a typical desktop frame. So this form actually works well. It was originally created for a desktop layout. So this is a contact form in the desktop layout and it just fits for that. You can change the size to fit for tablet or mobile. But yeah, let's see what it looks like in the prototype view. So I'm just going to run my prototype. Let's give this a moment. And there we go. Let me just make it a full screen. And yeah, this is our contact form. If you enjoyed the video and you learned something new, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to watch something else related to this, you can go ahead and click on the video on screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.